So Ian, let me ask you, you decided to open up a charter school in the Bronx, and I did not realize just how dire the situation was in the Bronx. This is just these are a couple of stats. This is, I guess, behind why you created Vertex, your school. Of the nearly 2,000 public school students beginning high school in the South Bronx in 2015, 2% graduated ready for college 4 years later. Oh my God. 98% either dropped out before senior year, or if they managed to graduate, they would still be required to take remedial classes in community college due to low math and reading scores on state exams. What a terrible, terrible indictment of public education in the Bronx.
Can you imagine living in that neighborhood where you have a child that you have the greatest of aspirations for, and all you have, your only choice, is to send your child to a school that's had that track record for generations? This isn't a new phenomenon. And what's worse, these kids that start ninth grade and drop out, or they actually do earn their high school diploma, but still cannot do math nor reading without remediation if they were to go to college. So they actually do what they're supposed to do and still cannot compete on a college level. That is criminal. But what's worse, in New York City, because of the union stranglehold and party affiliation, there's a cap on so you couldn't even start a great school if that was your aspiration.
Right, exactly. Right, that's the situation right now, thanks to de Blasio, is you may have you have money, you have the teachers, you want to go in there and offer these kids another option, and you can't.
Well, that's what we did, though.
So how'd you do it?
So what's interesting, so we started Vertex Partnership Academies as what we believe is going to be one of the best world-class high schools in the country. We're being authorized as an international baccalaureate high school. We're renting Archdiocese.
Picture. It's beautiful.
Space. Yes, it's a beautiful school, accepting ninth grade students. But what we said was that there are charter schools that currently only go through eighth grade. And every charter school has the right to extend if they're performing well. So if you have been able to run a high quality elementary and middle school, then the state gives you the right to extend to high school. So we worked with a group of existing charter schools that have current charters to extend through 12th grade. And now they're partnering with Vertex Partnership Academies to run this world-class high school as a guaranteed option for their rising ninth grade students. The teachers union, decided somehow that they made a false claim that this was getting around the cap on charters. Thankfully, a New York State Supreme Court judge looked at their case, heard their arguments, and completely dismissed the union's lawsuit. They found that the union had no standing to bring the case in the first place, and they said that the case had zero merit, that every charter school has the right to extend its grades. So we should be fighting against the very idea of a cap in the first place. That is a crime. But in addition, every charter school across the country should know that no union can stand in their way of extending existing grades. And that's a very powerful tool, because across the country, great high schools are in very short supply.
Okay, but let me ask you this, Ian, because as I understand the teachers union's rap on charter schools, among others, it's, okay, so if they're performance-based at all, what you're going to have is the kids who do really well wind up leaving the public school, and so the creme de the creme wind up at the charters, and then the rest of the kids wind up back at the publics, and there's no one there to help lift them up, and quality of instruction, I suppose, could potentially go down when you don't have students who inspire the teacher to teach to the top student. I don't know this is basically what they say. You can't take all
the blah blah blah. This is all the blah blah blah.
That's right. So speak to that article, that argument that basically you're plucking all the really talented students out of the publics thanks to a charter.
Okay, so those are the blah, blah, blah arguments that you typically hear. First off, charter schools are public schools. So every student in our school is a public school student. I myself went to public school, kindergarten through 12th grade. I'm a big believer in the public school system as a common pathway to prosperity. There have been tons of studies, particularly in Harlem, in other areas of the country, where you've actually had a concentration of high quality charter schools. The impact has been, it's actually improved performance of the traditional district public schools. So this idea that somehow charter schools that are not public, which they are, or that they'll siphon off funding, charter schools in New York City, we only get about 75% per student relative to traditional district schools. So this narrative has been debunked over and over and over again. But the number one thing you need to look at is, what are parents saying? In 2019, there were only about 33,000 open public charter school seats. We had nearly 81,000 families applying, almost all low-income families, primarily kids of color, parents that are just desperate for their kids to have an equal shot at the American dream. And these false barriers are being created. And school choice and educational freedom is fundamental if we really want to create a society where all young people, every kid of every race, has an equal shot to be successful.
Are you tired of feeling like someone's always watching you on the internet? Maybe advertisers know a little bit too much about you, or you're concerned about the privacy of your identity. Why wouldn't you be? Using incognito mode will not solve the problem either. IPVanish VPN is here to protect your right to privacy and to help you stay anonymous online. IPVanish helps you safely browse the internet without exposing your private details to third parties like hackers, your ISP, or advertisers. When you use IPVanish, all of your data is encrypted. This means your private details, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be completely shielded from falling into the wrong hands. Even your physical location will be hidden. IPVanish is offering an incredible 70% off their yearly plan for our listeners with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's like getting 9 months for free. IPVanish is super easy to use. All you have to do is tap one button and you are instantly protected. Take your privacy back today with a brand rated 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot. Go to ipvanish.com/Megyn and use that promo code MEGYN to claim your 70% savings. That's ipvanish.com/Megyn. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.